Hey Falcons fans! Falcon Fanatic here, bringing you the latest and greatest news heating up the NFL world. And guess what? It involves our very own quarterback situation. Get ready, because the rumors about Kirk Cousins and a potential trade are back in the spotlight, and this time, the focus is squarely on the Pittsburgh Steelers as a very sensible target. This speculation is picking up steam, and we're diving into why it makes sense for both sides and what it could mean for the Falcons. So let's set the stage. The Pittsburgh Steelers have an incredible streak of non-losing seasons, but the quarterback position is a big question mark for them heading into 2025. They drafted Will Howard in the 6th round, but it's unclear if he's ready to start. Their other QBs, Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson, have limited starting experience and haven't proven to be legitimate QB1s. Here's where it gets interesting. The Steelers recently traded for and signed wide receiver DK Metcalf to a massive contract. This move signals they plan to have a genuine starting quarterback in place, because you don't make that kind of investment in a receiver without one. The impact here is that if the Steelers' primary target, Aaron Rodgers, doesn't end up in Pittsburgh, a hypothetical scenario but one being discussed, they become prime candidates to trade for a veteran quarterback. And according to reports, the available Kirk Cousins of the Atlanta Falcons is being viewed as a logical destination for them. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler who, despite a down year coming off injury, is still seen as a viable starting QB option in the league. Analyzing this from the Falcons' perspective, there's a financial angle that makes a trade more plausible after June 1st. Bleacher Report's Mo Moton points out that the Falcons could save $27.5 million in cap space this year by trading Cousins after that date, according to Over the Cap. While he signed a huge contract last offseason, if the plan is truly to move forward with Michael Penix Jr. as the starter, keeping Cousins and his large salary as a backup isn't ideal. The Falcons are reportedly looking for a team willing to take on a significant portion of his 2025 salary, around $20 million. And if the Steelers could get that number down, it makes Cousins a much more attractive option for them compared to their current roster or other limited trade possibilities. What does this project for the future? For the Steelers, if the Rodgers pursuit doesn't pan out, trading for Kirk Cousins could be seen as the next best option to bring in a proven veteran starter for the 2025 season, providing an obvious improvement over their current QBs, even if it's not a long-term solution. For the Falcons, a post-June 1st trade would clear significant cap space and fully commit the team to the Michael Penix Jr. era, potentially recouping a draft pick in the process. Bleacher Report suggests a 4th-round pick could be a reasonable return. While there are still complexities with his contract and no trade clause, the financial incentive for the Falcons after June 1st and the clear need in Pittsburgh make this a rumor worth paying close attention to. All right, Falcons fans, what do you think about Kirk Cousins being a sensible trade target for the Steelers? Do you think the Falcons should trade him after June 1st? Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. If you're navigating these QB rumors with us, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the latest news and analysis on your Atlanta Falcons rise up. Let's go Falcons! Hey Falcons fans! Falcon Fanatic here, bringing you the latest insights into one of the most talked about situations surrounding our team right now. Get ready, because we're diving into the curious case of Kirk Cousins and why he's still wearing a Falcons uniform despite all the trade and release rumors. An NFL insider has shed some light on the situation, and the reason might surprise you. In fact, one analyst called it downright silly. Let's break down the latest updates on our quarterback situation. So as you know, the Falcons made a massive commitment to Kirk Cousins last offseason, signing him to a huge 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed cash. The expectation was he'd be the franchise quarterback. However, after a season that didn't quite meet expectations, and the surprising draft selection of Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick, The rumors about Cousins' future immediately started flying. Would they trade him? Would they even release him? The impact of this situation is largely tied to the massive financial investment the team made. According to ESPN's Dan Graziano, a big part of why Cousins is still here comes down to what he calls stubbornness. Think about it. The team just paid out a huge chunk of guaranteed money, and the idea of simply cutting ties with him after only 14 games in 2024 that weren't exactly Pro Bowl caliber is tough for the front office to swallow from a financial perspective. It feels like admitting a mistake on a massive scale, and that's a hard thing for any organization to do. Analyzing this further, Graziano points out that when the Falcons explored trading Cousins, they were asking interested teams to take on a significant portion of the remaining $37.5 million in guaranteed cash he's owed. Naturally, other teams weren't willing to offer a high draft pick or significant assets in return, while also taking on that much salary. This created a stalemate. The Falcons didn't want to give him away for cheap after paying him so much, and other teams weren't willing to pay a premium price and take on his contract. So despite being linked to teams like the Steelers, as an alternative to Aaron Rodgers, or even a brief mention of the Saints, no deal materialized that the Falcons felt was worth it. What does this project for the future? For now, it looks like the Falcons are indeed comfortable with Kirk Cousins being the backup quarterback to Michael Penix Jr., despite the hefty price tag. While his cap hit is around $40 million, the combined cap hit with Penix Jr.'s rookie deal, $5.2 million, isn't absurd in the grand scheme of NFL quarterback costs, according to Graziano. Cousins could still be traded before the season, especially if a team's starter gets injured during minicamp or training camp, creating a new, more desperate market. The Steelers' link could also resurface if their QB situation remains unresolved. However, given how the offseason has unfolded, Graziano suggests it might be time to believe the Falcons when they say they're okay keeping him as a backup in 2025. Plus, with the Falcons having traded their 2026 first-round pick, they have no incentive to be bad next year, making Cousins a valuable insurance policy if Penix Jr. struggles or gets hurt. So while the financial reason might seem silly from the outside, it's a very real factor keeping an expensive veteran QB on the roster, at least for now. All right, Falcons fans, what do you make of this? Do you agree that stubbornness is playing a role? Are you comfortable with Kirk Cousins as the backup, or do you still hope for a trade? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're following this wild quarterback saga, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the latest news and analysis on your Atlanta Falcons. Rise up. Let's go Falcons!